All right, everyone, thank you for coming back to our event today. We have a very, very exciting speaker for you today. I'm so excited to have her with us. She's a real expert on relationships. And she's written a book, which is called The Grass is Greenest, Where I Am. And it's a really exciting book. She's also a empowerment and transformation coach. She also runs an organization called Conscious Co-op, which I just attended one of her meetings a couple weeks ago. And she puts together people who are interested in health and wholeness and consciousness in the Southern Florida area. And she's amassed a large group of people that share the same values. And we're really excited to have her on with us today. So today, the focus is going to be on relationships, how we can have healthy relationships. And we all know, I mean, there's no one that's listening today that doesn't know that, whether a relationship is going well or not affects our health, affects our wholeness, affects our attitude, affects everything. So thank you so much for being with us today, Noah.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Clyde, for having me.
Absolutely, really thrilled. So let's talk about relationships. What are the things when you coach people? What are the things that you focus on?
So if I can go a little bit into my background.
Sure, absolutely.
I had a very challenging childhood, and I didn't grow up in a home where I felt very safe and secure. And I remember as a child making a very important decision that my childhood is just a small part of my life, but my adulthood is going to be amazing. I actually made the decision, Clyde, when I was like 14 years old. And I really put that into my future. And I said, my future is going to be amazing because I get to choose. Because as a child, as you know, we don't get to choose. We get whatever we have. We get the parents that we have. Maybe we do choose them. Some people do say we choose. Yeah. But as adults, we definitely do get to have the choice and know that we have the choice. And so I realized very early on that my future is going to be amazing only if I get to create it myself, that I have to take charge of it. And so that's what got me really realizing how that most people that are married, which I looked around, I was in my 20s, I saw a lot of divorce and I saw a lot of chaos, and I saw a lot of people that were in marriages that were not fulfilling and were not making them happy. And I decided that on the roller coaster of life, I'd rather be sitting alone than not be with somebody that really lifts my heart and soul. And so that's how it started, my journey of really getting to know what's important and actually learning how important choice is.
Yes, that's really amazing story. So you had that realization at age 14,
Yeah.
when you're going just through one of the hardest parts of your life, and had envisioned what kind of adult life you wanted to have and what kind of relationship you wanted to have. And that's really exciting. Okay, well, go on. Tell us more.
Yes. So I always say, I have this saying that I say, that you make your bed and you sleep in it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So again, the choices we make today will affect our tomorrow. Whatever we bring into our lives, we actually get to sleep in it. If it's messy, it's because we created it. And so I was very mindful about creating something different, creating something new. And I believe life is about breaking cycles. It's about, we're all in cycles all the time, certain cycles. And so the key is to be able to break that cycle, to shift and to create something new. Mm-hmm. And I think our whole life, we never stop, because it's part of our growth, part of our consciousness, part of our transformation is to break cycles. And I was very determined to break the cycle that I came from. And so when I was ready to actually look for a soulmate and find somebody that I was with, there were very important things that I had on my list. And I think it's very important, first and foremost, to be very clear what we're looking for in a soulmate. Because I really believe that it's the most important decision of your life, who you marry.
It is. Mm-hmm. I can attest to that, because I've been married for 51 years. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, it's a long time. And,
Great.
you know, it's been great because we both had the same intention. We both wanted, you know, a lot of kids, you know, which we have 4, and we have 7 grandkids. And, you know, that's what, you know, both of us really wanted. And, you know, we started when I was 20 when we got married. So, you know, it's been great. If we did, right, you have to have the same intentions, same basic intention. You know, there's
Right.
no question about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to have similar values. I
Yeah.
find, you
Yeah.
know, I find that there's a very fine line. I don't know if you would agree with it, between love and hate. You
Mhm.
know, you can love somebody one day and you can not love them the next day. And so I got this really great, one thing that I have to say about myself is I'm a very good listener. So when I like to listen, I like to learn from others. And so at this one point in my life, I was working as a hairdresser and I was looking for my soulmate at the time. And I remember washing a client's hair. And as I'm washing her hair, she told me, Noah, find a man who adores you. If he adores you now, he will adore you 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And at the time, I was like, adore sounded like a foreign language to me. What's adore? The only thing I could think of at the time, even though I didn't have kids, was a mom love for her child. Like I was thinking, that's adore. I never had a man who adored me. But when I met my husband, I understood what adore meant.
Mhm.
It's so much deeper than just love. So I always tell people, find a person that adores you, because if they adore you now, they'll adore you 50 years from now, 60 years from now. It's a much deeper connection than just love, because love can fade, as we all know.
Mhm. I love what you're saying. I think it's absolutely critical. You're right. And there is a difference between love and adore. And the relationship that lasts will be the one where both you know of the two people are adoring each other. You know, so you have to adore each other, don't you think? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's really good advice. Very
That's
good.
really, yeah, and that's really started me on my journey of, okay, like I can do this. This is like, okay, the ball's in my court. I get to choose now. You don't get to choose me anymore, because I was always one of these women that just, you know, if the wind blew this way, I went this way. If a guy liked me here, I went here. So there was no real choosing and really standing for what I believed in, really what I wanted. Now I knew I was looking for a man who adored me. And that was a very big turning point in my life, to be able to be more clear about the direction that my life was going to be taken. So that
Yeah.
made a huge difference for me. It gave me a lot of clarity and a lot of power. And it gave me strength to know that I get to choose now. I don't have to be chosen anymore. I get to choose. And there's a lot of power in being able to choose your life rather than giving somebody else a choice over where your life is going to go.
Yeah, especially in the choice of a lifetime. You know,
Yes. Yes.
what you hope it is, especially if you're having kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So to tell you more about my story, you probably want to hear a little more about it.
Yes, yes.
So once I was clear about that, I created this incredible game called the Elimination Game. And I actually want to create this game, but I haven't yet. But the Elimination Game I played so I can have fun while dating and finding my soulmate. Because I realized that the more I can eliminate the wrong people out of my life, the faster I'll be able to get to the one.
Right.
And so when I made it a game, dating was no longer a chore. It was actually fun, because I knew that most people I'm going to go out with are not going to be the person I'm going to marry with. So I would find a new friend, or maybe they would lead me to the one, or whatever it was going to be. But I wasn't going to be disappointed. I was going to stay really empowered, take my power, and use the tool of elimination to get to where I wanted to go. So that gave me a lot of power back as well.
Where did you get that concept? Because it's kind of unique. I don't think too many people have that concept.
I think it's just spiritually healing, getting to know myself, getting to know what's important to myself. And that's why I knew for so long that I had to write this book, because I wanted to share with others what I've learned, because I've learned so much. And I think it's also learning so much from the relationships I was at before, because I learned what I wanted, I learned what I didn't want, I learned what was important, I learned that I needed to take my power back. I think a lot of my journey was to take my power back, because if we don't take our power back and we don't think we have the power to make the choices we want, then we're giving our power away to somebody else. And I think that was part of the power within myself to eliminate, because now I got to choose. And so I think there was the clarity behind that, that I got that download that I'm now playing this elimination game.
You know, I talk a lot in my book about, in my books about indigenous power, which is the power that we are given as human beings. And it is unique. We have this unique power. We're the only entity on the planet that has that power, that ability to use our mind and our soul and our spirit to express our full development and enjoy our full development of a human being, which is virtually unlimited. And that's what our power is. So yeah, if you're not using that power, you're not using what you've been given by our creator. And that's exactly what you're saying, I think, is that you know, you've decided to have that power, to empower yourself. You're not going to make a choice that you don't want to make. You're not going to make a choice because tradition tells you you have to marry somebody in a particular religion or race or, you know, anything, or age, you know, or background. And you just decided to find that person who adores you. That was your, you know, that was going to be your power. And you did it. So it's amazing. Yeah.
And so one of the other thing that I talk about is that I think as women, and I'm sure men do too sometimes, we wear our heart on our sleeve. You know, we're ready to give our heart away to people. Like, here's my heart, take care of it. You know, before we really see what the person has to offer you action-wise, right? Because people can say anything to you, but it's very different, the actions they put behind the words. And
Right.
so that's another thing that I realized, is that my eyes were going to be wide open. I was going to see what I was going to get this time. I wasn't just going to close my eyes and not see past what was really there. And
Right.
so until I really saw the actions behind what I was getting and really saw what I was getting, I wasn't going to close my eyes and just trust. And I think that too many of us do that too soon. We trust, or we give our heart away, or we're like in love with the idea of being in love. But the first love has to be for yourself, as you know. And if we don't love ourselves and respect ourselves, how can we really love and respect anybody else, or really get what we want in our lives? So that was a really important component also for me, to be able to see what I was getting and not just get something that I knew nothing about.
So when you're working with other people that are going through difficult times, how do you work with them? Where do you start? And, you know, if they're in a relationship that you know is not been on that basis that you just said, they haven't found somebody that adores them and they're having problems, you know, where do you start and where do you go?
So the first thing I think, for if you're ready to get married, you want your soulmate, the first thing is you got to be clear, right, about what you want. You can't just, you have to have a lot of clarity. And so to me, the clarity is very important. And I also outline it in my book. So some of the things you should be asking yourself, right? When you meet somebody, or if you're thinking you want to marry somebody, is he your best friend? I think it's really important to marry your best friend. I think, like, why would you choose the people you want to be friends with? Definitely the person you marry should be somebody that you have a friendship with. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, no question about it. You know,
Yeah. So
it has to be the person that you'd like to spend most of your time with, because that's what you're going to be doing. You know,
exactly.
whether it's, you know, playing cards together or going to movies together or writing a book together or whatever it is happens to be, you know, you have to have that. Otherwise it's not going to work out, you know?
Right, exactly. Another thing that's really important for them to get clear of when they meet somebody is how I believe this, Clyde, that it's important to find out how stable their childhood was, or the person that you're planning to spend your life with. And how did they grow up? How stable are they now? So there's just things that you need to look at to give you clarity about the person. I mean, even if they didn't have a stable childhood, what have they done to work on themselves, to make themselves better? Because we are fragile as human beings. And especially when you're young and you go through all kinds of experiences, it can really break you, and it can really cause a lot of disconnection within yourself. And so I think it's important that you've done work on yourself if you didn't come from a stable background or a stable home.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily that you can't marry somebody that didn't come from a stable
No.
home, but I think what you're saying is it's how they handled it. How did they handle the difficulties? Because if they
Right.
handled the difficulties well, that's a good sign, actually, because, things happen, all the
Right.
time. It's just really, really kind of evaluating how they handle situations that were rough, you know.
Exactly. And do they have family members that they love, that they're close to? Are they close to their family? I think that tells you a lot about a person, where they're at with their family, how close they are. I think those are, for me personally, things that I think when you're looking for somebody, those are important things to notice.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. The relationships of the family that you're marrying into, very important. Absolutely.
Like, did they have good role models, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, right? All these things that really create who we are today.
Right. That's a family you're going to be married to.
Right.
Yeah.
Have
So,
they worked through their traumas and issues, right? We all have had traumas and issues. So I'm not singling out, we've all had stuff. And so have you worked on your traumas and issues? So if you haven't worked on it, if you just kind of push it aside, it's going to come up. It's going to affect your marriage. It's going to affect your relationships with people. So those are things that I would have them look at, some of the things.
right, right, right. That's excellent. So, in terms of, you mentioned soulmates, right?
Mhm.
You talk about soulmates in your book.
Yes.
What's the story on soulmates? I mean, do you think that there's one soulmate that in the world for a person, or are there lots of potential soulmates, or maybe is there a soulmate for a certain period of time and then a different soulmate for another time? I mean, what do you?
Yeah, I think it could be all kinds of things, but I think there is a true soulmate, somebody that you're very, very, very compatible with. I'm not saying that you can't be compatible with other people as well, because other people will challenge you in other ways. But I always say, I have a saying that says, if it doesn't flow, let it go. And
Mm,
so I believe that your soulmate and you should have a flow together. So I want to give you the example, and this is the example that I love, is water. I want you to think of water and how water just flows, right? It just flows. It flows and flows and flows. If you open a faucet of water, the water flows. If you look at a river, the water flows. It flows over rocks. It flows under rocks. It just flows. And so I look in relationships, like a healthy relationships, in terms of, is the flow there? Because if the flow is there, that means that you're getting through things. You're not getting stuck. You're moving forward in your life. You're growing together. And to me, that's healthy and that's good. But if the flow is not there, if there's all this roller coaster rides and ups and downs, that to me doesn't make for a very healthy relationship.
no, you're right. It has to flow, especially
It's
when
not,
especially when you have kids, and
Mhm.
and because everything gets more complicated and intricate, when you do that. So if things don't flow, you're gonna have problems, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, you got to have that flow. I like that. That's a good analogy too.
Yeah, and your souls, do your souls love each other? Like your souls, not just physical, but your souls, like really love each other? Like there's a strong soul bond, a soul connection, which we're talking about a spiritual connection, not just a physical connection. And so when you have that spiritual connection with somebody, it changes everything. It's not just, it's again the difference between love and adore. It's much deeper. And so you're no longer marrying somebody who's just fun and adventurous, which is very shallow, right? But you're marrying somebody that you have common values and common ideas and common ways of wanting to build things together in life. So it's not just looking at the superficial things in life, it's looking deeper into the soul and whether you have this deeper connection of values and that you share together.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it. So so do you, when you work with people, I mean, do you meet with both of them, sometimes with different, with individually? So you're
Usually
working with a
I
couple.
coach people individually,
Mhm.
people that are ready to really take their life on and do something different with their life, find their soulmate, find their passion, write their book, whatever they want to do. So that's what I do. I empower people to live the life that they're supposed to with no comparison, no competition, and no scarcity. So those are things that I believe really take away from your light and your love in life. When we compare ourselves to other people, we are just watering down who we really are, and it strips away our own self-love. So I really believe in staying empowered in your life and learning to not compare, not live in a scarcity mindset, because I think the world is abundant and we all can have a part of it if we're open to receive.
Mhm.
And I just think that no competition, because it's not the fastest one. I
So
say you already won.
when you say no competition, are you
Mhm.
talking about competing with things that other people do or other couples, or are you talking about competition between the couple?
I'm talking competition, period. Like, I believe that there's no reason to compete with anybody but yourself. And it's not about not learning from others and wanting to do better and being inspired by what you do, because I am inspired by what you do, okay? And wanting to learn from you and grow with you. But it's about not making your, like, you have your own path. You don't have to be like anybody else. You have to find your own unique value, your own unique path, and not try to be outdo somebody else, because that's just going to leave you exhausted. It's going to leave you empty. And I want us to live our lives with a full cup rather than an empty cup that's just drained from trying to be something we're not meant to be.
Yeah, and I think a lot of I think particularly men do get caught up in that, the competitive thing, well, that guy's doing better than I am, he's making more money than I am, whatever, and and maybe you feel inadequate because of that. And you're right. I mean, that doesn't do any good at all. You have to be who you are and be happy with who you are,
And
and
we should be inspired by each other. Like, when you
right.
look on Facebook, be inspired by what other people are doing. Like, don't think like, oh, I should be there, or be jealous of them. It doesn't make sense. Like, be happy. That's why my book is called The Grass is Greenest Where I Am. So it's about nurturing your own life and your own gifts, and not trying to be anything, not trying to look out there and think it's better out there, because it's not. The grass is really greenest where you are if you water it, if you take care of yourself, if you nurture your marriage, if you nurture your kids, if you nurture things in your life, then you create it. So it's about creating your life, not about trying to be something that you're not.
Right. And so you have to do that as an individual first,
Yes.
and then, encourage everyone in your family, your wife, your spouse, and your children, and everyone to do the same. It's a great advice. The grass is greenest where I am. Yeah.
Also, not running away from yourself. I think so many of us think that the grass is greenest somewhere else, right?
Right.
And so I think part of the journey is to come home, is to realize that we have it all. I mean, every single one of us, we have it all. We all have a gift. We all have some, our gift is our gift. His gift is his gift. Her gift is her gift. And it doesn't matter. Just shine your light, shine bright, be happy, and just keep nurturing what you want, because you create everything in your life. Everything that you have today, you have created 100%. And I believe that with all my heart and soul. And it can be changed. So it's not like a curse or anything like that, right? So you can change anything in your life too. It's just a matter of making different choices and just growing within yourself and getting the tools and learning and becoming a better person.
That's beautiful. And it goes with everything that I've been studying and learning for, probably 50 some years. And that is that we have that power to create our own life and create our own vision, and this amazing ability to do what our creator does, which is manifest into reality your thoughts. That's what we have. That's what the gift we're given. We have a thought about something, and we have that ability to manifest that into reality. And that's our great gift, and our indigenous power. So as a human being, and when a couple is aligned, that's when it gets really exciting, And we had a vision of a family when we wanted it, and we have 4 wonderful kids, 2 boys, 2 daughters, and now we have 7 wonderful grandkids, and our friends envy us so much because we have so much interaction with our grandkids. Grandkids, by the way, are much better than kids. It's a whole different realm of reality. And but it's true when you hear these stories about how the relationship that you can have with your grandkids is so much, there's something about it. I don't even know exactly why it is, but it's real, and we have 2 grandkids that we're actually raising. Our daughter is not able to raise her kids, and so we're raising our daughter's kids, and she's doing well. She's out in Oregon doing her thing, and we have 2 grandkids that live across the street from us that are here all the time, interacting with the grandkids here. They're like being raised like brothers and sisters, and my wife are intimately related or intimately involved in everything that they're doing in their life. We go to their tennis tournaments, we go to their cross country tournaments, we do things with them, all the time. So, it's very enriching and empowering, and sort of like the fruits of everything you've worked for when you can have that opportunity to enjoy your grandkids, so
That is so awesome.
yeah, and that's what it's kind of, to us, that's what it's all about,
That's
and
beautiful.
yeah, it really is.
I met one of your grandkids, and he's so sweet.
Oh, that's right, you met Jacob. That's right. Yeah, he was
so sweet.
Yeah, he's a very, very sweet kid, and you caught him right after a tennis tournament. I think he had 3 different, he went back to the food line 3 times.
Yes, that's awesome. So happy he came.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. So that's great. So what would be the last kind of impression that you want to leave on people? And we obviously want them to know about your book. Why don't you show them your book again, and your website?
So this is my book.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
That's perfect right there. The grass is greenest where I am.
The grass is greenest.
No
Living in your own love
comparison.
and light.
Right.
No competition, scarcity. And it's a very empowering book. So when you read it, it's a very uplifting and empowering book. What I'd like to leave your audience with is a great quote from my book. I have a lot of quotes in my book, and I love this quote that I want to share, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You are not your past. You are not your stories. You are not your judgments. You are not what you own, and you are not what you do. You are not your problems. You are the light that shines in the world. Connect to your light and shine.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Words of wisdom.
Thank you.
Deep wisdom. And did you write that yourself? Did you find that?
Yeah. Yes. Everything in my book I wrote myself. It took me 20 years to write my book because I had so much fear of my own greatness. I don't know. I think most of us go through that. And I had to get past my own fears to be able to write my book. But I learned so much, and I really wanted to share with others what I've learned, because I think it's each one of us responsibility to leave this world a better place and to leave something behind for other people to take away. And so I'm glad to share, happy to share, and keep learning from others as well.
It's been one of the most informative and useful sessions that I've ever had talking about relationships. It really has. It's
Oh,
practical advice, very simple, very powerful, and very, very true. And so I thank you very much for that. Do you have a website? Do you have a website that you can share?
yes, I have a website.
Okay.
Yes, I have a couple of websites. One is the noahcrane.com
No.
website. So it's got all my information on there, as well as the Conscious Co-op website. So Conscious Co-op is a monthly event we do because we believe connection is the key, and we bring people together monthly. And we also have a business website. So it's consciouscoop-op.com.
Conscious,
I can text that to you.
sure. Conscious Club dot Conscious Club.
CONSC, no, Conscious Co-op
Oh, Conscious
dash
Co-op.
op.com. So
Okay.
yeah, dash op.com.
All right.
That's our website.
Excellent. Excellent. Very, very good. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this today. I really, really appreciate it. I think our audience will
Thank you
really,
so
really
much,
appreciate it.
Clyde.
Gained a lot. Yeah. And people, if you want to know more, her book and noahcrane.com is one of the websites, right? Is that what you said? noahcrane.com?
Yes.
Is that the easiest one? That's a nice, easy one. noahcrane.com. And I'm sure everything else can be found from there. So, so thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate your attendance. And I hope you really enjoyed yourself today. I think there was very valuable knowledge here. So thank you for coming.